What's up, guys? It is Jonathan with One Big Impact. So this has been a long overdue video on something that I talk a lot about, not only with personal clients but also just people in general on the internet, and it is foam rolling. And I'm going to take you through a really quick, hopefully quick but kind of relaxed and peaceful little video of how I foam roll, and just a couple things that it's good for is if you're experiencing a lot of muscle soreness, tightness, cramps, or any potential injury. Honestly, a lot of the times foam rolling can really help, especially if you're going from not being active to being super active. Your body is going to have some problems with that adjustment. So first of all, if you're new here, please check us out on Facebook. Our group is called Healthy Living for a Healthy Life. Be stronger than your excuses. Shirts are available in any color for pre-order right now. So you can do pink, gray, green, purple, blue, yellow, whatever, gold. I don't care. I don't know if they have gold, actually. Can't confirm that or not. But lots of exciting things coming. Also, the bracelets and meal plans are available. So first of all, the reason I foam roll is probably because it's one of the easiest times to ignore the rest of the world. There's not much people can really do to bother you. You can't be on your cell phone really if you're actively foam rolling and stuff like that. So it gives a good time to take like 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes or more out of your day, or even a minute, you know. So don't get obsessed with saying, I don't have time to roll out, I barely have time to go to the gym, because in reality, we all have time for the things that, if you have time to go to the gym, it would probably benefit you more to do 5 minutes rolling, 5 minutes after, rather than just going straight through, because you're helping that myofascial tissue, all the muscles and everything, break down and be able to release some lactic acid. By the way, thank you, Angela, for sending me those amazing video or links today, because there's more and more studies that are saying instead of maybe deep tissue massage, of course, it's going to be a lot more expensive, but foam rolling can get a very similar response. Now, I want to talk about 3 things real quick. So these are the 3 things that I'll use to foam roll. I'm not going to be using this much. This is my original foam roller, but they do have a short stubby one like this that has like gnarling, almost like ridges in it and stuff like that. And that's going to be for like really stubborn areas. So you got something going on with a different part of your body or anything like that. It's a really good things to have. Now this is going to be a more rigid, really hard. So this one's from Amazon, this one's from Walmart. You can get them either way. I'll put links in the description below to everyone. I would say this one's probably going to be the industry standard as far as like what you're going to see as far as like nicer gyms. They're going to have this, and then I have a massage stick, and these are going to be things that I use all the time, and even sitting at my desk. And I have one more thing that I need to show you real quick. Now, I'm showing you this one because I don't have handy I don't have an actual ball. Like, you could use a tennis ball, you could use any kind of ball. This is going to be the accelerated version of what I'm going to be speaking of right now. So if you have any type of issues, whether it's like runner's knee, you're running a lot, maybe you have tight IT bands or something like that, then rolling out the bottoms of your feet can be amazingly beneficial. And I recently have had a lot of runner's knee problems, and figured out that when I roll out my feet, I tend to do really, really well. So without further ado, let's get started. Go get your foam roller and let's do it. So first things first, I would say go ahead and take your shoes off. You can play some relaxing music. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to do that for myself because the video. Take your shoes off. I take my shoes off sometimes at the gym, and a lot of the times you'll realize it's just kind of like a chill, relaxing thing. It doesn't have to be high energy. If you're not used to foam rolling, I'm going to warn you that it could be painful. It could be simple, it could be challenging. It just kind of depends on your own body. I will say yesterday I was doing some foam rolling exercises mixed in, like some push-ups and knee tucks and stuff like that for abs, and I will say it got pretty challenging. I was pouring sweat, but I was also just done running, so that probably had something to do with it. So you're going to put it long ways under your back, start about mid-back. Now be careful, because once you start putting weight on everything, you're going to notice really fast what are your tender areas. So the back's usually a good place to start because it's not super difficult to be able to roll back and forth. So you're going to put your hands over your chest, rolling back, and you'll hear different things pop on me. Just rolling back and forth. Nice and easy. There's another pop. If you want to intensify that exercise, put your hands over your head, squeeze your head with your biceps, and be careful, I promise you, this is a little bit more advanced of something. As far as like foam rolling is concerned, it'll put a lot more pressure on your back. So if you have any back issues, be really careful and do this a little bit at a time, or with a friend nearby to catch. Oh, that one's tough actually, believe it or not. So just rolling back and forth. Now, the way I foam roll may not necessarily be the same way that you foam roll. I'm gonna go right into the hips. I'm gonna do the bottom of the body and then flip over, try to be as efficient as we can for the video. You're gonna go ahead and, now this would be a beginner way to do your glutes. I'm rolling on my butt, if you can see that. Hopefully you can see that. Can you see it? I'm rolling on my butt back and forth. As you turn your body, you're gonna feel some really difficult areas sometimes. Like, I only walked today and my glutes are absolutely killing me right now. And I did not do anything. You can go on to the other side. And this is like beginner. If you're just starting out, don't go super crazy. If you don't feel much that way, and you can go all the way around, just be careful, put your arm back there for support. You can put your leg over. Now let me turn back so you can see what I'm doing here. You put your leg over here, and whatever leg's up in the air, you're gonna go ahead and roll onto that hip glute area and just kind of find any kind of problem areas. If you find a real bad area, stick there, stay there for a while, an extended period of time. Just let it kind of breathe in, breathe out. This shouldn't cause you extreme pain. It should be, you know, tightness, and it will put pressure on you and stuff like that. Just remember not to go too crazy because you don't want to end up with any kind of injury. Not that I've ever heard of that necessarily, just kind of rolling back and forth. Now your next is going to be your hamstrings. It's always a difficult one for me to do without falling on my butt. You're going to put your hands up. And for guys, be careful. Oh my gosh, those are tight. What did I do yesterday? It was a, oh, that's probably why they're tight. 3/4 mile run yesterday and 3/4 mile jog. No, 3/4 mile. What did I do yesterday? Yeah, it was a long, pretty long run. That's why. So that makes a little more sense. Just rolling back and forth. You can go up into your glutes as well. I will say my glutes are a lot more sore than I had ever imagined before. Next thing, you're going to come up here. You're going to do your calves. So hopefully you can see. I need to scoot back, it looks like. Be careful with your calves. It's a really sensitive area for me. It may not be for you. Roll back and forth. Okay. And you're gauging the amount of pressure or body weight that you're putting on with your hands back here. So you could put a little bit of weight, you could put a lot of weight, or you could really put a lot of weight by crossing your legs. So crossing your legs is going to put a lot of weight on. Curl your leg around, side to side. Be careful, calves. Release a small, super tight muscle, always causing problems, to be honest. Now, the muscle here in the front, for shin splints and stuff like that, I like to cover that guy, just kind of rolling in and out. And these are the knee tucks things that I was doing the other day. So pulling back, pulling in, pulling back, pulling in, back, pulling in. But that was just kind of screwing around, just kind of winding down from exercise. Then you're going to come down to your quads, so be careful. Again, the quads are going to be super sensitive. Almost everybody that I've ever done this with, as far as clients in person, have almost like every single person has had pretty tender quads depending on which way they go on them. So just be careful. And you can see my feet behind me just rolling back and forth. If you want to intensify it, be careful. Slide up onto one side, roll it back and forth. Super tense area. okay? Now the next thing I want to do, because we're in that area, is going to be your IT bands. Now, if you have any kind of issues or anything, or if you haven't really touched on the IT bands, I would use the massage stick. Just come out, be careful. Feel if you have any tightness or any knots. We did this with Gina the other day and she had a pretty bad knot right here about halfway. So I found it, just kind of rested on that knot for a little while and then work it way out. And I did the same thing with myself, believe it or not, with my quads. Mine tend to tighten up really bad right on that teardrop area. So I grind that out. I can use a golf ball or something like that. But now that I got the massage stick, it's all good. And I know this sounds probably like a crazy infomercial, but my IT bands are very tight. I'm fighting the Achilles heel tendon issue, and I do feel it. It's subtle, but I'm being very careful about my running patterns and everything. So that is really important. I would recommend, if you're going to be doing this on a regular basis while running, maybe like 15 minutes, 20 minutes afterwards, and then before, I'd say like maybe 5 or 10 minutes is probably plenty. So you're going to come on the IT band. Remember, this IT band is not a muscle. It's going to respond a little bit differently. So it's probably going to be a lot more sensitive. So be careful. I've crossed my leg and put it here because it all depends. Like one day you might have super crazy soreness and then the next day you might not feel nothing. So just be really careful. Using your hands as like shock absorbers, and hopefully you can see that. If you can't, I'll turn this way so that makes more sense. So I've got my leg here, and I'm rolling on to have my hip to the sky. So I'm using this foot to hold back or give more pressure. And then I'm rolling back and forth. And it's a lot different. It's more like an electrical surge versus like a muscle tightness or soreness and stuff like that. And it's funny because I don't care how much I roll out, I'm always, always, always super, super sore. So when I roll out. So that just tells me whatever I'm doing is good, and I need to keep doing it because that's what I got to do, because my body's responding well, I believe, to it. Now, the next thing, these will take your wind away. These are going to be the lats, okay? I would say if you want to roll out your chest, you can reach in forward and just roll back and forth. Be careful, obviously, if you're a girl, but even if you're a guy, it is a super sensitive area. Reaching forward and kind of rolling around on that chest to kind of open up and break down all that soft tissue is going to be really beneficial. Now, this next one will almost indefinitely always take my breath away. So I'm going to do my lats. I'm going to put my hand out. I'm going for the under armpit muscle, so my muscle directly below my armpit. I'm reaching out and coming back. Okay? And you can do this different ways. If you're super tight this way, I can use my hand to actually turn it and kind of judge how fast I'm going to go, if it's causing too much pain or not enough or whatever. So coming to the other side, hopefully that makes a lot of sense, like you can actually see what I'm doing. I apologize if you can't. So just coming up and down, and that one's actually so sore, I'm not going to be doing it. Anything else that I need to cover? You can use the same thing. Any type of issues, so that's what I was going to cover. So my foot, as far as putting this on the ground, the reason, and I'll take my sock off to explain it. The reason that I feel like this is so important, if you have tightness in your hamstrings or anything, what you need to realize is all the muscular skeletal system or whatever goes through your complete body. So it's really important that you understand that just because you have a hip problem, it could be in your foot, it could be in your knee, or a knee problem, it could be in your foot, or it could be somewhere else. So always saying my knee is screwed up, my knee is screwed up, my knee is screwed up does not mean like that's where your knee is screwed up necessarily. It could be a tightness in your hamstring. It could be your IT band, your iliotibial band, or whatever, that band that goes on the outside of your leg. If you're running in a lot, it could be a tightness in your quad. It could be all kinds of things. So don't ever think just because something's happening that it's happening because that issue is there. Obviously it feels like it's there, but remember, it's like all these fibers and everything that go throughout our body. So it's really important that we work on whole body skeletal functionality, and as far as the skeletal system is concerned. Now, remember, start with a larger ball, tennis ball, big massage ball or something like that. And I'll put links to everything in the description below. golf ball would only be used after you're no longer experiencing like tightness or soreness in a specific area in your foot. This is going to be like an acceleration later so that you can get in closer and in between all those fibers and everything like that. But at first, a tennis ball should be fine. If you don't feel anything then, be careful. Don't strike down super, super hard because you may have very, very sensitive feet like I do. I think there was a couple people, but some people also don't feel anything. So I would say graduate to this, then maybe, you know, a marble eventually or something like that. But be very careful. Don't just slam down on them. It's going to be like Home Alone with Legos. It's not going to be good. So I'm going to go ahead and show you here, if you can see, that I have extreme tightness in my foot. I'm not going to lie. I am flat-footed, and I don't know why, if that has anything to do with an extreme pain in my arch, but as you can see, right about there, I feel a lot of pain, a lot of pressure. So I kind of just get it there and hold it there, come back a little. I also can't take off my shoes for more than about 10 minutes at a time without getting a headache. And I think it's due to the problems with my flat feet. So just kind of rolling around in the outside and everything. And you may be surprised when you find a spot, so be very careful. And once you do, just remember, kind of find that spot and just hold on it. Chill out for a little bit. So I think that kind of pretty much covered everything that I needed to cover as far as rolling out. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them in the description below. I think it's something that you guys should definitely be doing, especially for guys if you're not stretching and stuff like that. But even, I mean, if you could do something like this and it has similar benefits to like a deep tissue massage, doing this on a regular basis, you know, spending 20 bucks for this and having it forever is a hell of a lot better than, you know, spending $100 every time you go get a massage. You guys, if you're new here, like I said before, please check us out on Facebook. Our group is called Healthy Living for a Healthy Life. Be stronger than your excuses. Remember to spread love, not hate. Drink your damn water and stay on track. Have an awesome day. Peace.